It's funny how a single game can hold so many memories. For over a decade, I've ventured through countless Minecraft worlds, yet now they only exist in my mind. So here I am, again, starting over. But this time, it's different. This time, I'm creating a forever world. A world that will stand proud through every update and each new chapter of my life. A place I can always come back to, where every block I place holds a story that someday I can share with those I love the most. I'm choosing to take it slow, to savor the details, and experience everything this game has to offer. This is a deliberate journey through a game that has not only shaped me as a person, but the choices I made throughout my whole life. If you feel that gentle pull of nostalgia too, I'd love for you to join me. This is my forever world, and where our journey begins. This world is going to last my entire life. It's really crazy when you say it like that. I don't know. I really don't know why it's taken me so long to stumble across a concept like this as well. I mean, I've played Minecraft for 12 or 15 years almost. It wasn't long after Minecraft launched that I started playing it, so it's got to be, yeah, maybe 14 years I've been playing this game. Now, this world that I found, I did do a bit of research, and I wanted to find the perfect world. Let me know if you want to know what the seed is. I'm happy to drop it in the comments below. So you start off over in those mountains over there, and it's got this massive crater on the inside using... I think it's one of those taiga biomes. I don't know, but there's powdered snow everywhere. It was lethal getting down. The moment I got here, I knew this is where I wanted to start out. This is where my starter base had to go. And you just look at the views that you get here. It's absolutely phenomenal. You're close to the ocean. You've got this backdrop of this epic mountain range. And I don't know, it's just something special. It gets to me. It triggers those emotions. So I did the typical beginner Minecraft thing. So I started off punching wood, getting a bunch of resources together, explored the top of the mountain up there just to get myself a little bit of iron together so I could make a basic iron set. But one of the biggest things that I want with this world is I want to take my time. I don't want to get diamonds straight away. I don't want to get enchanting. I want to explore things at a reasonable pace. I want to get myself a horse and use it for the first couple of episodes to run around. I want to build really cool tunnels to connect all the different bases that I made. I want to tell a story with everything I build, even things like redstone. Like I want some kind of narrative behind it. And there is one thing that I definitely do need to do. This is a bit of a touchy subject, right? But I've played Minecraft for what, 14 years, and I've never killed the Ender Dragon in survival on my own. I know, it's blasphemous, but I want to enjoy the journey to get there. Maybe even more so than the actual end itself, you know? I just want to take my time and play this game that honestly just meant so much to me growing up. But I have got some huge plans for this world. I am really excited. With the whole theme of the world being it's a world that will grow with me, it feels right that things that have had an impact on my life currently should be represented in this current series, I guess. And one of the things that has had such profound impact on my life at the moment is Epic the Musical. If any of you haven't heard of it, I highly recommend giving it a listen. You can find it on YouTube. It is probably 2 of the best hours you'll ever experience if you like musicals. It's all based on the Odyssey, basically Odysseus traveling back from Troy to his home of Ithaca and all the adventures that he has along the way. And it's honestly just such a bop. I cannot recommend it enough. So I want a lot of the builds to be inspired by that musical. I want to have big monsters coming out of a cave like Scylla, building big boats, or a fleet of ships evading Poseidon's wrath. And I also just want to experience everything that Minecraft has to offer. Like, every time I play this game, it's always just the annual 2 weeks where I'll build a starter house and nothing else really comes out of it. I mean, when I first started playing the game, I actually did a lot of my stuff in creative. I just built a lot and it was really fun, especially in that kind of medieval kind of style. I mean, I feel like everyone goes through a medieval building in Minecraft phase, but I really want to explore some different building styles and also not just focus on building, but other things like redstone. Redstone isn't something I've done all that much. When I first started making YouTube videos for Minecraft, like 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even longer, I don't know. I think it was 10 years ago, actually. One of the things I did most was actually work using command blocks and make little mods for the game. Like I made some different TNT variants. And one of the things that actually had such a big impact on me back in the day, one of my command block mods was actually featured by log.zip. They actually made a whole dedicated video based on my mod, and that was a really powerful moment. I mean, I was like 15 at the time, I must have been, and one of these YouTubers that I watched all the time made an entire video on their channel based on something that I had made. That was such a powerful emotion. I feel like that emotion actually tied over into the rest of my life as well. I mean, playing Minecraft is part of the reason I became a game developer in the first place. I mean, I've always liked to think I'm a creative guy generally, but I do think if it wasn't for Minecraft, I wouldn't be doing what I do now. So I've got to attribute this game to getting me to where I am today, honestly. It's also definitely the reason I started making YouTube videos and fell in love with making content. So I feel like it is fitting that I go full circle, you know? I go from making Minecraft videos to learning how to make games, to making videos on making games, to going back to enjoying playing games rather than just making them. Because it can get quite overwhelming at times. As a game creator, I always feel like I'm almost wasting my time by playing games, because especially a game like Minecraft, where I feel that the effort that I could put in being creative in Minecraft could be better spent being creative on my game, you know? And I really want to shift away from that kind of mindset. Like, I'm allowed to express myself in different ways and not feel guilty for doing so. And I think doing this series is gonna help me with that in a way. Plus, it's another way to do the whole YouTube thing as well, in much less of a businessy way, almost. I mean, when I make videos on my other channel, Lazy T Studios, I have deadlines to meet. I mean, I have sponsors that I need to hit deadlines for. I also have to make things with purpose. Like, I can't make a video on anything. I have to make something in my game in order to make a video on it. But also the things that are important in game development, they're not necessarily the most fun things to express in a video. So I really think I need this additional outlet to do the whole YouTube thing without that additional pressure. All right, before I actually go and start building properly, I realized I kind of want some moss. I need to go. I don't know why I didn't pick it up while I was there earlier, but we're going to head to that lush cave that we saw earlier, and we'll just pick some up there. We should only need one, right? Because you can bone meal it to get more, if I remember correctly. I've not actually worked with moss before, but it does look like such a good building block, especially for getting things like mossy cobblestone, which is going to be so important for texturing, especially when we're working on things like the bottom of the building, because it's going to have a cobble foundation, or at least ooh, that would have been bad. It's going to at the very least have a kind of stone foundation. So being able to get that kind of texture is going to be so important. I think one thing I'm going to have to do at some point as well is make like, oh dear, oh dear, oh no. Oh my god, this one's so deep. Oh, that was so deep. How many blocks deep is that? That's such a trap. Oh my god. Hello again. No, leave. Thank you. I feel like I should make like a tunnel system between the different areas with at least minecarts or something, just so I can get around a little bit easier. I feel like that's going to go a long way. Cool to get some glowberries too. How am I going to do this without dying? Getting in and out of here is going to be difficult. Do I just bridge over there, do you think? Wait, is there any moss on that side that I can easily pick up if I went over there? No, it doesn't look like it. I feel like either way, going over that side and entering from that side is probably going to be the safer option, right? I didn't bring my bed with me, did I? I'm such a silly goose. I really should have done that. Why do I never think ahead with these kind of things? I just jump into it. I put myself in danger. 2 or 3 stacks of this should be fine. So I think this vein's going to be big enough, honestly. Oh, that's scared me. Oh, I did bring a bed. Oh my god, accidentally saving myself. I do not like how close that bed put me to the edge. Like, could you imagine having this lush cave all built up into like an underground civilization with lots of holes like poking in the ceiling, so the like shafts of light do like gleam through? That'd be so cool. I absolutely love building with this block. I don't know why. It's funny. Like, I know if Dynam's watching, I know for a fact they hate this block, so they're probably not gonna like the build I make. But I don't know. I absolutely love it. It's kind of reminiscent of those old medieval kind of style builds, like the English, or not medieval, like, is it Tudor? Like those old Tudor buildings? I'll pop a picture up on the screen now. I don't know, there's just something about the white with the wooden beams running through it. It just looks so cool. I love that style of architecture. That's 3 stacks. That should be enough of that for the time being, at the very least. Oh, yeah, you can get a better picture to what's kind of around there. It's got this weird rock formation with a kind of lake in the middle. It looks really cool. That'd be a really interesting place to build something. I don't know what yet. All I know is it would be cool. Gotta be around here somewhere, right? The entrance. Oh, I think that's... Is this the entrance coming up here? It's somewhere nearby. Might be here. Yes, this looks like it. There we go. Yeah, we were just over there. Look at that. Okay, first things first. Let's light up this area. I don't want any nasties coming for me while I'm trying to mine up moss. Okay, I think we should be safe for now. Yeah, maybe putting a water source might actually be useful just in case. Ooh, can I harvest these? Oh, I picked some up. Glowberries. Oh, do I need shears in order to actually harvest the vines themselves? That would make sense, right? I mean, as long as we've got a little bit of this stuff. I think it would be cool to get some glowberries, but I don't know if it's worth risking it, right? This gives me so much anxiety. Let's protect ourselves at every corner, though. I'm not taking any chances. Is that the water source that I made? Suddenly now having fish in it. That's kind of crazy. Oh no, I can't even grab those. Is it the glowberries? Like, if I plant the glowberries... It is! Okay, so I need to get the glowberries specifically. We're learning. We're learning. This is an improvement. This is an improvement. I'm already knowing more than I did. The adventures of acquiring moss. Oh, we've got clay here. Perfect. I'm genuinely terrified. Like, survival was never my strongest suit. Oh, and the carpets as well. I forgot about that. Okay, I think this for the most part is like at least the items that we can get from here, you know? Like, I can make bricks with this. There's like so many different options. And it never hurts to have too many of those. I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to leave it at that. But that's going to do it for me. That's enough fear factor for the time being. Probably should... In fact, I saw a set of vines, actually. I really should pick up some vines so I can bone mill those up too. I saw them somewhere. Where were they? Nothing here, no? Nothing going to jump out and say boo? Good. All right. We're home free. And it's daytime. So we might just survive. Let's see if this snow doesn't try to kill me again. Oh, I had to say it, didn't I? I had to say it. Oh my god, it's all here. Oh my goodness. I had to jinx it, didn't I? I had to. There's so much of this powdered snow everywhere. It's treacherous. I'm going the long way. I don't even care. I'm not going up and over that anymore. Too scary. All right, well, I would say that was a pretty successful outing, all things considered. Is this a ravine? Oh my god. Scary. Yeah, that was a pretty successful outing. We actually got everything we wanted plus some. Because I wasn't expecting there to be vines there, so we got a little bit of everything, which is nice. And we made it back home safely. Look at that. Now, do these glowberries grow anywhere? So can I plonk them on like a tree? No. I'm guessing it has to be placed on moss, right? So I probably should get some kind of little glowberry farm made. So if I just jump up a little bit like this, if I then place a piece of moss here, am I able to then... Yes. Okay. And on the back of that, let's set up a little vine farm on either side. So here you can grow some vines, and here we can grow some vines. So this can be our little kind of moss farm, so we can grow those. I mean, it's a cute little farm, I guess. It gets the job done. It gets the job done. I also noticed these are going into the nice kind of the greeny color. I think this one is the one I'm liking most. I think it goes straight from this to this, right? I'm liking the texture on this, but without beeswax, I don't think I can keep it like this. I accidentally used my axe. Yeah, and it reverts it back one. This was a really productive day. This was a really productive day. Right, see, I'll just set up the farm over here, I guess. Like, out the way enough, but still, I mean, this isn't gonna be where I leave the farm in the end. But it'll do for the time being, you know? There's so many new crafting recipes I need to learn. Let's go into the crafting table and just look at the recipe book. Honestly, this is such a good improvement. Okay, so I can make mossy cobblestone with vines. Okay, I thought it was with moss. Oh, you can do it with moss. There are alternative recipes. Okay, cool. Okay, we got the stairs, different stair types. Let's jump in here, get some diorite. Let's also pick up some clay, and we'll start smelting this up just so we can start getting some bricks. And let's have a look to see what the different options here are. Okay, so we've got the smooth, we've got the polished versions, and the regular versions. Cool. So this will be the front of the house here. Entrance probably like either here or here, and then I'll have like a staircase going up. So maybe I'll have the front door here with a staircase here going up directly from the outside to the second floor, or alternatively I might just have it wind up the side here going up, or along the side here. I haven't really decided yet. All right, and I think over here we'll set up our palettes. So I think with how bright the top is going to be, we should probably stick with these darker tones, maybe even spruce, because we're going to have the diorite and such on the top floor, so we're going to have quite a light top. So then going for kind of a darker bottom level probably would be the better choice, right? Yeah, that blends a bit too well. I guess that kind of works. That is kind of nice palette. Do I like that? No, I think that clash. I don't think it blends well enough. I mean, do we have any other kind of white blocks as options? Let's have a look. I think that cuts too much. I think it's too much of a difference, whereas the wool blends in a little bit more. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go for that. What do we want for a roof? I feel like a deep slate roof could look pretty nice, but we're gonna have to go mining for deep slate if we want that down the road, for sure. It's not something we're going to be able to set up right now. I do think a kind of a darker roof would be nice, but again, I also want to incorporate some of this copper, but until we get beeswax, I can't really, and this would be, oh my god, like setting this up would be so expensive as well. Right, I'm gonna go mining for some deep slate, just so I've got that. I'll come back and decide what I want to do with this afterwards. I'm gonna start a little bit of a mine over here. Hello? You want to help me mine out this quarry? But what I've got a little bit of an idea for this island here, so it can be like a little mine entrance. We can later on we can terraform this area a little bit, have a bit of a bridge going over the water, and this can be a bit of a quarry / mining island. I think that could be a really cool identity for this space. But I think I'm going to start my mine over there, so I'm going to get a few ladders made, and then I think actually my wood is over there. So one of them despawned. Yeah, can I wait for can the other one despawn? Because I need to get the wood that's in the chest over here. I'm a little bit worried that he might see me. You can't see me. You can't see me. Make a bunch of ladders. Let's see how far down we can go. 57. I think that gets us to deep slate level, right? I really don't know, but we definitely need to get a stockpile. This isn't going to be anything. I'm not going to go strip mining or anything. I'm purely going down. As soon as we hit deep slate, I'm just going to mine a bunch of it. I'll bring a little bit of it up first. Ooh, lapis. I will take that though. I'm not going to take a massive amount. I'm gonna, as soon as I get some, I'm gonna bring it back up and I'll just compare it with my texture palette that I've got going on for the build, because at the end of the day it may not even suit. I mean, I feel like it will go, but it may not be the direction I end up wanting to go in. Another thing I'm looking for is some granite as well, because there's a potential to have a granite and brick. Oh. Ask and you shall receive. The granite along with the clay, I think would look really, really cool together. So this is going to be really cool. This may end up being what I end up going with. Potentially like a deep slate rim around the edge of the roof to have that kind of high contrast again with the lighter granite and bricks on the inside, because there's different oranges. I can even throw in some if I'm able to go exploring later down the line and maybe find an acacia tree, some acacia wood would work really well, so I can mix that in later down the line too. There's a lot of different options, which is great. We'll leave that for the time being. We know it's here, so we can quarry this all out later. Let's keep going. All right, let's mine this out just a little bit. I forgot that deep slate takes so much longer to mine as well. This is where a diamond pickaxe would actually be useful, but again, I'm not rushing into anything here. I want to take my time. I'm really enjoying this so far. So I think this is the first time in a while that I've actually been excited about the plans I've got for a Minecraft world, you know? Like, usually it'd be a case of, I'll build a little starter house, and then it's kind of like, oh, I don't know, we'll just not really do much after that, but maybe it's this world or the fact that I'm recording, but I'm really excited for the different plans we've got going on. All right, this should be... Oh, actually, before I leave, let me plonk down my water bucket. Oh yeah, I've also got some better leaves as well. I don't know, I feel like this adds a lot. It works really well with the shaders. It looks really cool around the world. It makes everything just look a bit more bushy and fluffy. I don't know, I really like it. So for the roof, we're probably looking at this mixed in with this. Oh, you know what? They actually look quite nice together. Which one do I prefer? Do I prefer that one or that one? I feel like this one works a little bit better alongside the brick. It'd be... Oh, it's a shame they don't line up. That'd be so cool. I think this one looks good next to this. Then this one looks good next to this. And we've got a lot... We'll have a lot of the kind of organic textures in the bottom. So I think having a bit more formed textures like brickwork, especially alongside this polished one, it's a lot cleaner of a look. We'll have this kind of splattered in there for sure. I think this one's probably the one to go for. I really like that. I really like that as a palette. Gonna get some good texturing in there, and then naturally we're gonna have a bunch of glowberries, vines, and things like that. And yeah, so I'll just get a bunch of these items together in a chest, and I'll just work on the foundation here on the ground floor. Come to think that, ooh, I've got my first pumpkin. Look at that. My first wheat. Hell yeah. Let's get some more seeds planted. I'm going to work on the foundation here, get the bottom floor kind of set up and framed. And yeah, of course it starts to rain. Of course. So yeah, I guess what I'll do now is I'll just get a bunch of these different blocks that we've got for the bottom floor, and we'll just start building it up. So let's go. So I'm here, spoilers for some decorating, so I'm not going to look, but a wandering trader just spawned, so let's see what they've got. Literally all stuff I have access to. You are worthless to me. Oh, I really wanted something like getting a mangrove propagule or something like that, or some jungle saplings, basically something I can grow. That's what I needed right now, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I've built the framework a little bit, and I've done a little bit of decorating around the back, just as a bit of a proof of concept, but I'm liking the general shape that we've got going on. So we've got these kind of slanted roofs, we've got the L shape, and we got the different layers. So we go from cobble to kind of those darker wood tones into the light white and the kind of beigey salmon colored roof. Now, at the moment, this is all made out of granite. I've just done it to fill it in so we have a roof. It's not going to remain that way. I'm going to make sure to texture it, and I moved my bed in here. While I was building, I forgot to put torches in here, and we might have had a little bit of a creeper blast, because a creeper might have spawned in here. Luckily the doggos were out of harm's way. But upstairs, we've got a really big space up here. There's lots of room to work with this, which I'm really excited to start decorating it. Because usually whenever I've made builds in the past, it's always been really cramped. I've always gone for a really small scale, like literally 3 by 3. Like my entire house would be this. I've never really built one this big, so I'm excited to see what kind of decorative options I've got. But when it comes to decorating, I've done some testing outside. Now it's a bit drastic. I'm gonna like look away, so it's a little bit of a reveal. I did get rid of the color palette that was over here, just so I could get those good angles. But this is the vibe I'm currently going for. And you know what? I'm quite liking it. We'll terraform the surrounding area a little bit. I think this is a really good start. I also really love these hanging vines. Like usually in situations like this, I just kind of put normal vines, which I think I've got some like under here somewhere. I don't think I've really utilized vines. Yeah, that's my only vine, but I'm really liking this. I think the copper's a really good accent color along with the white, because it complements the browns really quite well. And I'm also a massive fan of these kind of rusted bits. Again, we need to find some bees. We need to find bees so we can keep these at this stage, because I don't want them going blue, because that's going to be a bit too much of the turquoise going on. But keeping them like that, especially with the grass behind, I think looks really, really good. I might have gone overboard a little bit. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it feels the rest of the when we do it the rest of the way around the house. But I'm a big fan of this so far. One of the issues I've got, right? It's really expensive. I need a lot of resources. I'm going to need a lot of spruce. I'm going to need iron for all the lanterns. I'm going to need a lot of clay for the pots and things. And I don't have these resources yet. Like I was barely scraping. Whenever you don't see this on the time lapse, but I'd literally do a quarter of the roof and end up having to go all the way back to the mines to mine some more granite. I think it's going to feel really, really cozy, but I need a checklist. And I was thinking to myself, I did have that wandering trader come in that gave me a little bit of leather, if I can remember where it is here. I feel like I need an ink sac. That makes sense, like a feather and a thing. Are there any squid nearby? There's usually a couple squid in this little area over here, right? And jumper. Hello dolphins. That's a really weird sound that the dolphins make. There we go. Ink sac. Beautiful. So if I go into my recipe book, black dye. Oh, I'm like drowning here. I don't think I need more than one. I think one ink sac is enough, right? Surely. Right, now we're back on dry land. Let's have a look. So, book and quill. Book is in here. Maybe it is. Maybe I do have to make the book first, and then it'll give me the recipe. Okay, that was probably the case. It's giving me a few more recipes here. Book and quill. There we go. I was right. Look at that. All right, so we can open this up, and we can have a little to-do list going. Beautiful. Deep slate. So, I mean, looking at it, I think that's everything. That's all the different resources. Spruce gets us that, and the stairs. Iron gets us that. We also need coal, because I've actually got no coal. It's kind of disgusting how little coal I have. I think that should do for now, right? I do want to add one additional feature here. I'm going to, I think maybe on this little segment, I'm going to add a big chimney. That's one thing this silhouette is missing, because I think it looks really cool from this side when you've got the double angle, but it is missing a chimney. I also need a sustainable source of food. This is helping. But this gives me like 10. This gives me like 10 loaves, which again isn't massively sustainable currently, or just a bigger farm. That would probably also help. This episode, I feel like I want to finish it off with the outside of the house done. And next episode, we'll look at kind of setting up farms and different, maybe a couple of other buildings in the surrounding area and such. But for now, I am off to basically go gather a bunch of resources because, yeah, we're gonna need them. It's a new dawn yet again, and we're back. I've done a little bit of mining. This chest right here, this chest. It's got the spoils of war. Took me about 2 hours to get all these different resources. Finding the copper, going mining for clay. I had to get a bunch of trees. It took a while for these to grow, but we've got a few spruces, some of the big boys growing in the background. I also got a little bit of a smelting system here, so I'm smelting all the different bits and bobs as we go. But if we do look at our checklist that we set up, we got pretty much everything. We got everything. The iron is the only thing I'm a little bit apprehensive about. I think we will need a little bit more iron to make a few more lanterns, as I mean, you can see here, we do use a fair few. And I've got 26, which I don't think is going to be enough, but I think we've got enough decorated pots and such. Maybe need a few more, but again, we have so much clay being smelted up over there. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Leaves, we might need a few more of. Moss and such, we can always bone meal and get some more over there. So I think we're good to go. I do think we're good to go. Now, the building process of the outside, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera, as after I've done 1 or 2 walls, I mean, it becomes quite monotonous. Let's be real. But so I think I'll do a bit of a mixture of time lapses of live building, but we'll just go, and I'll kind of talk through my thought process. So I feel like the first thing I want to do is this side, because it is extremely similar to this. The only difference is these windows are 1 high windows, whereas on this side it's 2 high windows. So it's going to be very slightly different, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And I've just realized now I haven't got those birch. I need to get those birch things. I think we have some birch wood still, right? Not that that's like priority. I can always add them out. Okay, we've got birch logs, so we can still make those. That is fine. Another thing, I need another set of tools so I can start getting around. Actually, I'm not very organized today, am I? You know what? I probably need to get rid of this tree. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, so those leaves should deal with themselves. So what was my kind of thought process for doing this? So the first thing I did is I did want to start out by just adding a bit more depth. So I've got these extra logs coming out here. I essentially go around and I reinforce these outlines just to add that extra little bit of depth. That doesn't need to be there, because you can see this here, it is really quite flat. So just bringing that out gives us a lot more to work with, honestly. And as I said, I'll just do this main face for the time being. You'll notice I didn't do it up on the top, because we actually get depth via different means, by adding the bushes. And I think having this bottom section being more extended, more extruded, gives emphasis to the top a little bit more, especially when we've got this lip. Again, the roof, I'm not even touching that yet. This is very boring. We're going to be adding a lot more texture to this later down the line. And one more thing to point out as well is the silhouette. I'm really happy with the silhouette generally. However, there is going to be a bit more detail on these top of these roofs. I might do a bit more of like a curved end to them. And I'm also thinking here, adding a big chimney, just to add a little bit more intrigue to the shape of the build, just make the silhouette of the house just a little bit nicer. So then if we come along, we'll work our way from the bottom down. You'll notice we outline all the different corners with these stairs, and we're just adding texture. We're just adding texture to places. We want to make sure we're getting some different types of wood, some different shapes, and also just a few different variations in color. So we get these stripes going across, and it's slightly different on the barrels here in the middle. So it's not all repeating. There is a lot of variation going on. So we'll start off with that. So we get the stairs. You'll notice here how when we add these stairs in, ooh, not like that, it frames things a little bit and makes you it draws your eye into the center, because these are more circular shapes. It's kind of drawing your eyes into the center towards the window, which is where we do ultimately want to be looking. And again, you get a similar kind of a vibe by using these. Oh, we'll put these sapling in. So putting these down, right? They almost act like an arrow pointing up towards the window, especially when you kind of add these pots on and you pop a little tree in. First of all, it adds a splash of color, which is very nice, but also, again, it draws your eyes up. Things are going, it's almost making an arrow pointing towards the window. We're drawing our eyes to the center of the build. Now let's sleep before anything bad spawns for us. We don't want to be Don't want to be dealing with any zombies or creepers as we're decorating this. We still need names for the puppers. So please, yeah, you unnamed pupper, and you unnamed pupper. So leave them in the description. And as soon as we get name tags, the first things we're going to do, name those puppers. Common with our composters. So the composters kind of frame the outside. Again, something just a little bit different. And we can always put some stuff in here. We can get some moss, fill these up. So again, it's adding a little bit more texture there too. And again, you'll notice, especially when we compare it to the trapdoors, which we're going to do on the other sides, we fold these up. I don't think I put one on the outside there. No. So putting one here, there and there. You'll notice the outsides again have more thickness to it than the middle. Yet again, we're kind of drawing from the outside in, getting things smaller. We're trying to focus the attention into one specific spot. Again, we're drawing people in to the house, or at least that's what I'm aiming for, you know? And now you're seeing here, there's a lot of wood going on. Like, yeah, we do have this in between, which is nice. What I might ultimately end up doing is even put some wheat under here, have a splash of gold going on. Something along those lines. I don't know. I'll experiment a little bit, and I might do some different options as we've got. I feel like we've got a lot of wood going on, so I want to add a pop of stone here and there. One of the ways I did this was just by putting a stone fence post in between, and that acts as a good support for two of our first lanterns, like so. And then for the sake of symmetry, again, I want to draw the eyes into the center, so having this middle one be extra long, having a lantern hanging off. I think I do actually. Again, we're kind of framing it again. Arrow. It's pointing up. We're drawing the eyes up towards it. Even with just those lights, we're making triangles. Different shapes. With this, we've made a circle. We've got a triangle with the lanterns. We've got more than just a block. This is a triangle here. Well, as triangular as you can get in Minecraft, that is. But we're just looking to make different shapes rather than just have everything be blocky. We've got circles, we've got triangles, and yeah, we do have a lot of blocks going on, but we like the complexity. Even this, it's drawing a little triangle almost. One thing I completely forgot that I will need, and I probably need easier access to, is going to be my crafting table and the stone cutter. I need myself some deep slate stairs and a couple cobbled ones to border the outsides, and I purposely chose to use a cobble one directly underneath the window. Again highlighting where that focal point should be. Again, we want to be drawing our eyes to those windows, and a way to do that is by framing it ever so slightly differently. We've got those pots, this, and again, we haven't got the glass in there just yet. I want to frame those windows. One thing I want to try underneath here actually is just putting leaves. I think that does look nice. I'm still going to experiment with a few different things, especially with the better leaves installed. I think that's a nice pop of color going on. Oh, what's going on with this? Yeah, we'll collect you. But all right, now we're going to jump onto the roof. One thing I really need to find, especially if I'm going to be building so much, I need to go on an adventure somewhere. I need to find a jungle so I can get some bamboo to make scaffolding, because oh my god, scaffolding makes such a difference. It's kind of crazy. And we're just gonna keep reminding ourselves of how we actually did things over here. I mean, it's not a massive amount of detail, essentially just barrels on the end, leaves in between. We're gonna frame the middle section with some diorite, again just matching the walls, and putting pots underneath the windows. There's not a massive amount of complexity, but it does all add up together in the end. Why did I have to choose to make my scaffolding with one of the objects that takes the longest to mine as well? Am I just that much of a silly goose? All right, so first things first, we put the pots underneath, blocking the wooden ends, so just in front of the wood. And then what I use these oxidized grates as well as a kind of end piece. I don't know why. I think they look kind of cool. I don't know. They look like those fences that you see in front of like football stadiums or in gardens that hold up. I can see this being a kind of a fence that has some vines like winding through it, but it's just reminiscent of that for me. And then what we'll do, we'll come in with our bushes. We'll add our bushes in. Again, not too many. And in the middle, again, we're going to frame the center with some polished stairs. And underneath, again, I started framing it. I believe I did this with the copper. I need to get into bed though. Luckily, I've got easy access here. Boom. The perks of not yet actually having enough sand to make the glass. Easy access to the upstairs. Beautiful. Again, this is going to be ever so slightly different to the other one. And I think we balance off that. We work with it. It might actually be that these copper bits are a bit higher up, so there's going to be even more emphasis on the difference, but I do like the idea of having that splash of color there. I think ultimately what I would want to do is have these be the partially... I don't want them to be full green, but I also don't want them to be full this. Once I get some beeswax, I'll come in and I'll set them to the actual state I want. Again, mix and match. We don't want them to be all consistent as well. One side might have a bit more polish. Maybe on this side, they're actually more polished like this because the sun doesn't touch it as much. So you can add a bit of realism to this, whereas on the front, it's going to catch an awful lot of sun, especially on the far side of the building. Maybe on this one, the sun goes up and over behind. So this side of the house doesn't actually get as much sun. So it makes sense that these aren't as oxidized than the other side. They've had less interaction with the sun and the sun's had less of an effect on it. And to be fair, that for the most part is actually all we've got on the top. There isn't a massive amount of detail. We've got the campfire there, but again, I'm kind of unsure on that. I'm not gonna lie. Let's mix it up a little bit. So still have those quite close, and then on top of those have some bushes. Maybe this one's got an extra bush, but in the middle I feel like we need to do something ever so slightly different. I feel like that's a bit too close. That's way too snug in there. For sure. I think we'd probably end up doing a little outline with slabs anyway like this, just to add a bit more definition. Do we leave this here? We're gonna be back. We'll be back. I'm not good at parkour either. I'm not good at survival. I'm not good at parkour. I'm only all right at building. That's all I'm okay with. All right, and I feel like we probably would want a chain, but for the... Oh, you know what could actually look really good here? Putting a fence post into the lantern. You know what? I don't mind that. This is a good opportunity. Again, I'm seeing a natural bit of a circle here, or a bit of an oval. You know, that doesn't look too bad. And that draws our attention to whatever's in the middle. Oh, of course. Oh, I'm gonna die. I've not actually died yet. I really don't want to die in this version. I think that looks a lot better. Having those down and those flipped up, I actually quite like, because again, it's framing it a little bit more. It's pointing up. I like this extra little bit of white that we're seeing. I mean, that looks really cute. I actually really like how the azalea looks like in these. It needs something more. It needs to be bigger. I do think I want to put one of these bushes in there. I do think it's going to look really nice. Instead of using one of those, let's put a moss block. So add a little green. You'll see a splash of green in there as well. One of those, kind of like little windows, aren't they? No, I don't mind this grate, especially once it turns green. That's going to look really good. Not a fan of these, though. What I was thinking was maybe putting two of these down, both with pots in. And then we can put a flowering azalea in one and a tree in the other. Like that. Like that. You go there. And then we just cover up that green with that. The lever goes in the middle up above one. So it's again, it's kind of pushing up into this. Let's actually add a fence post there, so it's kind of, again, it's pushing into it. It's that kind of support. And then the bush. Let's see what that looks like. Ah, you know what? I think that might be it. I like it. There's a lot going on. And again, once this, you can already see it's starting to oxidize. Once that's oxidized and we've got those greens in again, I think this is going to look quite cool. I'm also second guessing whether I like this cobble underneath. Maybe I do just switch all that out for just the regular deep slate. I think it might be detracting just a little bit too much. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. A bit less distracting, and it again draws more into this. So I'll switch out all the little cobble bits that we've got going around and just keep it completely deep slate. Again, I think I'll still keep these ones, just because it adds a little bit. Again, it draws up towards the windows, but I think for the most part, that's pretty nice. I like this. I like this. What I think I'm gonna do here at this point, I'm gonna finish decorating the rest of the house, but I'll do it as a little time lapse. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what I come up with for these corner bits and such. I'm not gonna touch the roof just yet, but let's just time lapse me finishing the rest of this. As it's, for the most part, I'm gonna be doing the same as this, just the rest of the way around the house. So yeah, let's do that real quick. And there we go. For the most part, that's the outside done. There is a lot to it. I will admit, it is a very full looking house design. I've not actually finished doing the roof. I will do that in my own time, to be fair, as the roof looks more like this. I really like this design. I had someone recommend in Discord to add some flowers and such to the roof. And I think it works really, really well, adding that little splash of green. I'm a big fan. But I'm going to make the rest of the roof look like this. Add the detailing at top with the grindstones and the stairs, just adding something a little bit different to the top of the roof. But I am a huge fan of how this turned out. I know the style isn't necessarily for everyone, as I'm not gonna lie, it could come across as quite cluttered, but once all this is oxidized fully and everything looks uniform, I think it's going to look really, really nice. I think it's going to look really, really nice. I'm really proud of it. Between now and the next episode, I plan to just do a little bit of terraforming around here. Basically just replacing all this dirt with grass, but I'll do a mix and match between podzol and grass and some paths, maybe a bit of cobble thrown in there as well, and I'll just get this made all just a little bit nicer, just so, because the stone just isn't doing it for me. In the next episode, we'll be going on an adventure. We're going to set sail into the oceans, and we're going to find ourselves some different biomes. Hello. We're going to find a bunch of biomes, maybe even some villages. I would like to find some villages and bring them back so we can get just a little bit of life onto this one, because there really isn't much life on here. I've scouted around. There isn't a single village on this island, so we're gonna need to go exploring and find ourselves some of those. We'll also get a bit of the interior finished and start planning out our next big builds, and I am actually really excited for this. I can't wait. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a lot of the builds I'm gonna do, at least for the first part of this, are going to be inspired by Epic the Musical. I don't know, maybe we'll start off at the very beginning of the tale. We'll start off with a Trojan horse or something like that. I don't know, but either way, I'm excited. So thank you all for joining me on this journey that is going to last many, many years, decades even. Well, I hope anyway. But no, thank you all for being here, and I shall see you all very soon.